First and foremost, I like to give all honors, praises, thanksgivings, greetings, salutations to whom the world ignorantly and maliciously calls as titles for names like Lord God the Most High, the Creator, instead of calling him on his proper name in its original or form of dialect of its language, in this case, the Lashawan Kodash Holy Tongue. So, again, a proper name that can be broken down and mean something, have a meaning behind it, and be phonetically pronounced correctly and righteously sounding it out instead of titles for name, once again, is YaHaWaH. YaHaWaH, He is, He has been, He will be. YaHaWaH, He is existence itself. He exists. YaHaWaH, He is. And two and through his only begotten Son, whom the world ignorantly and maliciously calls in the Aramaic, in the modern Hebrew, and in English, Yeshua, Yeshua, Yehoshua, Ishi, Yushu, Yosho, Yeshua, so on and so forth. But his true name, phonetically pronounced correctly, righteously sounding it out, a proper name that can be broken down to mean something in its own form, in its own original form or dialect of its original language, in this case, the Lashon Kodash, and not calling him by titles as Jesus, Salakia, Christ, Lord, the Anointed, the Messiah, or even in English, Jesus. His true real name is YaHaWaH Shai. YaHaWaH Shai. He is salvation. He is liberty. He is hope. He is succor. YaHaWaH Shai. He is salvation. He is deliverance. He is victory. He is liberty. YaHaWaH Shai. He saves and only the true Hebrew Israelites, which are true genetically and spiritual Hebrew Israelites, not the fake Ashkenazi, Amalekite, German, Russian, Jewish, Israeli living in the promised land today, and not all of Israel. 2/3 have got to go, starting with your bitch ass women. True Hebrew Israelites from the true 12 tribe chart, from the true ancient forefathers of the true Hebrew Israelites, and only 1/3 men, women, and children, 144,000 elect for this round, because the rest of you, like I said, have to go away in a thermonuclear bomb, ICBM missile, in the fiery pits of hell, which is American Mystery Babylon the Great. Shalom to the Akim and double peace, honor, salutations to the elders of GMS, Great Millstone, Tahar on down, great rulership, the head apostles, fathers, forefathers, teachers, preachers, kings, priests of all coming back in a reincarnated state to help solidify themselves as predestinated 144,000 elect male men, and to find out other predestinated elect 144,000 male men through the true, sincere doctrine of the Torah, the scripts, the Bible, and the Old Testament, New Testament, the Apocrypha, and the Paleo Hebrew, and the Koine Greek, and in supplemental languages, starting with the King James Version and adding supplemental languages, versions of the Bibles, and studyings and disciplines to show your calling, your election short, and be a good Berean like you're pushed to be at GMS camps, offshoots, and individual followers like myself. Shalom, double to the Akiman on the house, Bowers Internet Information Superhighway, pushing this truth and sincerity, brother Shroth, with more Passover videos. The Passover today is the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and tomorrow, and it is a mini Sabbath. Although you can still work, make a fire, or eat, depending if you need to, and and if you have to do it. Other than that, if you don't have to do it, if you don't want to eat, if you don't want to work, then don't, because it is somewhat of a Sabbath, but not a complete full Sabbath. Tomorrow will be a real Sabbath in which you cannot do any of those things. If it can be helped, remember, following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of one's ability, because our flesh goes off, Esau Edom makes us go off, and the rest of our 2/3 niggers and Gentile pagan heathens also make us go off, or entice us to go off. So, moving on, trying to get through Exodus 12, Exodus 12:7, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. This is the blood of Adonai Yahushua, also the blood of the Lamb, which the Lamb is, or Salakia Yahushua is the personification of the Lamb. A lamb is an animalfication of Yahushua. Both of them the walking Torah. So the house represents Yah, or the Salakia, the blood represents Yahushua's blood, and the house is the house of Dawad. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. The last food that they were gonna consume before they got ousted out, or pretty much marched out with a high hand out of Egypt. The last dinner that they ate was a representation of everything that was going on. Them fleeing from Egypt, them having no time to make leaven with their bread, them not, and metaphorically, them not wanting leaven in their bread because leaven is sin. And if Yahweh Bashem Yahshua is going to lead you out of Egypt, you got to be to the best of one's ability, as clean as you can be and as innocent as you can be with the blood of Adonai Yahushua. And with bitter herbs they shall eat it, and it's all bitter. While it's gonna be both the most highest joy and both the most highest despair in the world at the same time by everybody. When YaHaWaH Shem Yahushai breaks through the clouds and the so-called UFOs with the Malakim angels and the Malak Dawad to establish who really are his, even within the Hebrew Israelite community, who really follow YaHaWaH Shem Yahushai and the law, statutes, commandments thereof, and who's just doing it for filthy lucre's sake, for your fucking stomach, for your fucking bitch, and for to see you to be sinks amongst men, amongst other things. Pretty much to be a wicked piece of shit, you two-third niggers. So, and they shall eat it that night, roast with fire, unleavened bread with bitter herbs, they shall eat it. So, like I said, representation of what is happening spiritually, metaphorically, metaphysically, with the kinds of with what we're eating. The lamb, which is YaHaWaH, the unleavened bread, which represents no sinning or very little sin within us, and with bitter herbs, because while it is joyous to be saved, it is also bitter because we had to have been saved and we went through everything that was harsh. And seeing a lot of people around you, even though we shall laugh at calamity, you seeing a lot of dead motherfuckers around you and nothing but blood, guts, like the elder Kazakh says, a bunch of an asshole, an ass cheek there and a titty there. Yeah, while we are happy, we're still gonna be like, motherfucker, this shit is off the chain. So, better and joyful. Eat not of it raw nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire its heads, its legs, with the putrid stir up. All of it needs to be roasted. You cannot break it apart. The whole thing needs to be together, like Yahushua was completely together. And aside from the piercing in the side, he had not a bone broken or was not torn apart or slaughtered. So again, the lamb representing Yahushua. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. All of it is sacred, and you should not reuse it, and it's only a one-time thing. And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste as I lie when Yahweh's Passover. And thus you shall eat it with your loins girded, obviously with clothes on, your shoes on your feet with fucking shoes, and your staff in your hand, meaning you're fixing to go out or do something or have do a plan of action. And you shall eat it in haste because it's not a lamb dinner. Yeah, remember back in the day, we were literally just eating something to get some energy within us, so that we can go on a 40-year hike to the promised land. So we weren't enjoying it. We were pretty much stuffing it in our mouths as we were, pretty much still stuffing our bags and shit and getting ready to leave. Egypt, Babylon the Great, America for all. Pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the Allah, the Hayim of Egypt, I will execute judgment. I am Eliyahu and YaHaWaH. Self-explanatory, YaHaWaH, YaHaWaH through YaHaWaH in this latter time, and back then as well, because YaHaWaH was in the pillar of uh, smoke by day and a pillar of light by night. That was YaHaWaH in a so-called UFO. So both of them, again, one more time for the last time, is going to come upon Idumea, Basra, Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, Rome, Greece, and all these motherfuckers all conglomerated into one final end, which is America, Babylon the Great. And it's gonna fuck shit up. 99% of things, humans, anything is going to get destroyed, and only 10%, i.e., hopefully, like one-third man, women, and children, and the first handful of slaves and servants will be pretty much left alone or survived through the end times, World War III, or Friday Chip, Mark of the Beast, end times, to make it to the Millennial Kingdom and onward. Also, if I didn't mention it, which I always mention it, our Friday Chip is the Mark of the Beast, is Neuralink. If you take it or not, if you're perverted, your YaHaWaH will make you perverted. So, if you take it, you're definitely eating a thermonuclear bomb missile. If you don't take it and you're still talking shit within the Hebrew Israelite ministry, you're going to eat a thermonuclear bomb missile. Moving on, Exodus 12:14, and this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to Eliah when YaHaWaH through your generations, you shall keep it a feast by ordinance forever, by ordinance as in the law, and by ordinance by the moon. 7, and it'll continue saying it about 2 or 3 times within this chapter when you're supposed to do it. On the new moon, on the 2nd week of the 1st month. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread, even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses, both literal leaven that's in bread, and pretty much now everything, i.e. bacon, soda, and yeast. And if you can't, well then, to the best of your ability, and if you don't give a fuck, you will die. But if you can, you do it. But really, truly, metaphorically, metaphysically, it's talking about all the sinful bullshit in your life. Whatever it may be, whatever your thorn in your sides are, try to get rid of them, or at least alleviate them or cut them off or down to the best of your ability. Once again, it is impossible to keep the law, statutes, commandments because we're in a sinful flesh and a sinful kingdom with sinful people. And even if we wanted to do it right, we couldn't do it because there would be something put on us to pretty much violate the law, statute, commandment, especially the day of the Sabbath. So Yahushua is pretty much teaching us. Back in the day, you didn't want to keep the Sabbath, even though you could and no one would bother you. Now, when you do want to keep the Sabbath, I'm going to keep you from keeping the Sabbath. Just because YaHaWaH does what he wants. He's the director, the author, and he's trying to teach us wicked Hebrew Israelites a lesson that we should have done what we needed to do when we could have done it, and not try to do what we need to do when we cannot do it. And again, no tongue twisters, no circumlocution, and no beguilement in my tongue and speech. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, I could give a fuck less. You're not intelligent, and YaHaWaH is not messing with you or dealing with you because it takes an actual smart person to understand this shit. Back to the basics, but really, we're not talking to retards, all right? When we say back to the basics, we mean back to the basic elements of the scriptures, the milk, if you have you what have you, that you're a Hebrew Israelite, that salvation is only for the Hebrews. Yes, back to the basics, but not dumbing down, not making it retard proof, not fucking being servile to the wicked. Okay, if you don't get it, we're moving on. So while we say back to the basics, that's what we mean, back to the easy schmeezy stuff. But if even then you cannot get it, then that's when we put out our other statement or saying, nigga don't get it, we moving on. So yeah, we dumb it down so the new followers and and new converts can listen and understand to the best of their ability. But if we, for the lack of better phrase, dumb it down and keep it simple, and still you don't get it, that's as it. There's no simpler to get it. So then you're just fucking mocking and being an asshole. So then you can take your retarded ass and your dumb ass somewhere else. Like I said, if you don't understand what I'm saying, and I'm not using very big words at all, or even very big ideas, everything I'm saying is coming from the Bible, and I'm just paraphrasing and reiterating the point thereof. If you don't understand me, you need to go away. Exodus 12:16, and on the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that may be only done of you. So those 7 days of unleavened bread are somewhat Sabbaths, but not really. Try not to go off, i.e., you're trying to take all the leaven out of your life, your soul, your spirit, as well as your house. So by not doing stupid shit, but since they're not actual Sabbaths, they're just a 7 day long feast, a observation of what Yahushua has done and will do to Egypt and to the hopeful elect. Then you can eat and work within those days. Also, but you must also remember to eat leavened bread and bitter herbs every day, so that you can keep in rememberation of what YaHaWaH did and will do. So, and in the first day there shall be a holy convocation. It is a Sabbath, and it just so happens to be the Sabbath on the first day. And in the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation, which is the day before the actual Sabbath. So two Sabbaths back to back, a mini fake Sabbath, if you will, and a real actual Sabbath, which is tomorrow. So running out of time one more time. I'll come back to you with the rest, Exodus 16 through as far as I get. So until then, Shalom, house of David, and Abad, house of Saul. Shalom.